Thank you very much there, Leaf. And here we go then, Corelli. We have got ourselves into the first day across 4 days for this North American Regional Double Elimination. And where do you stand on this? Because I see me and the Chiefs might be just a little bit in the minority.
Just slightly, if you look at the Twitch chat at least. But you know what?
Are you willing to bring us up to 13%? Join us.
You know, I'm not going to make any comment on that one, but I do think that Continuum are a team that do have that upset potential going up against Version 1 here. They're players that have been fighting to earn the respect of analysts and of fans alike, and they definitely have the talent. It really is for a lot of these teams at NA. It's about finding that synergy at the right time, and also coming out and beating the big teams. That's the biggest thing in NA. You got those top shelf teams, you know, the big four, I guess is what we're calling it now, apparently. And that is the goal, is to beat one of those teams. That's how you make a name for yourself.
I think North America will ever have a time where the top teams are not the big something.
The big something. They have to be big.
What's the limit on this, Corelli? What point is it just they're all good?
Right. It's a fair comment, because you had the big three, now the big four. I don't know. Maybe we'll go to the big five next season.
Here comes Gimmick, and this is going to be a very important one for both these teams as well. Neither team really getting the results that they were after out of the first split. It's going to drop down. Opportunity for Gimmick, and he hits the crossbar. That was pretty much a gimme, really, for someone of Gimmick's level. They're going to have a second chance, and Spider keeps it away. Not the start that I think either team was hoping to see. Yes, Version 1 getting a good bit of offense, but they wanted to be putting those in. Gimmick going to have a second chance, and he's just scuffed it over to the left.
And this is something, when you take a look at teams like Continuum, you know the individual skill, you even know the team skill that they have, but you see some of these defensive mistakes and the bullying that's happening from Version 1. That starts to expose that defense. A couple errant touches all of a sudden lead to a possible Gimmick double tap, as Version 1 handily had the game in control here for the first minute and a half.
But now we see the breakaway. Astro might actually catch Gimmick out. He was trying to cover the potential passing option as well, which he did well. Now Calm looking to try and find a way out. He's managed to do so. Torment up with him. Three players all colliding. One convincingly winning the ball. Gimmick just forced to show a little bit more of what he can do defensively so far this game. There's a long blasted ball over to Calm. He will take it down under his control. Now tries to set up. It's going to bounce all the way out. Spider unable to set up for one of his teammates. Reminder that both these teams were unable to qualify for the major last time. Tournaments like this and matches like this one certainly can help out when it comes to not seeing that result again.
Definitely helps out when the Death's talking about, I think it was Jorby that brought it. Hold on a second, this one might pinch in, and it will for Spider as it goes to the left post.
Well, we were talking earlier on about how Version 1 had so much of the offensive pressure, but if you don't convert it, you leave yourself open for stuff like this to happen. And it is a goal out of nowhere, created by nothing.
Yeah, I think Version 1 a little stunned there. Now off kickoff, this one might go in as Astro has to clear it off his back line. Version 1 hunting for their first goal, and they've certainly had the most opportunity between these two teams, yet can convert.
The infield, but Gimmick coming from the same side. Very difficult for him to do much, but this midfield so far has belonged to V1. Unable to do anything with it this time around. Instead, Astro flip reset. He's got it over one, and Gimmick will keep it out. He's done very well defensively so far as Gimmick, but they might need him yet again. He will move in with Com. One goal is still the difference. Could change very quickly here. Aeon only as far as Com in the midfield. And Version 1 continuing to sniff around the offensive area of the field, but they haven't found anything yet. They haven't had that one big opportunity, bar the crossbar that Gimmick hit earlier.
Not a lot of passes with intent, a lot of clears with or no clears with intent coming out from Continuum, and that's what you're seeing Version 1 pick up so many of these balls, and Com's just going to beat the man to the ball here. Torment's going to have a shot. Spider's going to have to clear it away, but here Version 1 set up so perfectly to keep the attack on, and Astro finally clears it to some space to get downfield for Continuum.
And Version 1 have almost hit the trifecta so far. Crossbar, left post, only the right one remains at this point. Just trying to dial in where these shots are supposed to go. That's a miss from Spider. This is not the situation he wants to find himself in during his debut for the team.
Version1 still eating up these balls in the midfield. And look at the space that Torment has to pick this one up. Torment's going to knock it down to tie the game up with less than a minute.
And you got the feeling that it was always coming along, just it was not Version1's game when it came to their offensive production. Torment is the one that steps up, and they have managed to bring this back. Now, can they use that to springboard for a couple more? Another mistake. Might have been called off actually by Aeon. It's going to be dropped down. Com one under his control again. I feel like Com showing off just a lot of patience. He realizes when he's got a bit of time. He also realizes that he's a little bit by himself right now. Infield pass. Gimmick immediately after being demoed can get himself in the way. Follow up as well. Great play by Gimmick. Might be able to get more from this as Gimmick will find a receipt.
You need help getting out. You can see nobody downfield, no passes. Any player in orange, as Version1 have done a great job to beat the first man and have another in support. Here comes another clear from Torment. This time, Com's up, knock it down towards the net. Astro has to make a save, but with 10 seconds left, this might be the last effort for Continuum. It's caught up by Gimmick, and in the midfield, Gimmick will slow it down. Aeon is going to go to overtime.
For Version1, they'll look at the amount of possession they've had and start to realize that they are just a teeny tiny bit of execution away from starting to run away with this. For Continuum, this game would be a steal for them, but it's a steal that they'll happily take. Gimmick, only as far as Astro. It's a good booming clear. Torment wasn't able to catch it on his way in, so instead almost gave away a bit of territory. But it has been absolutely no issue at all in this game for Version1 to just transfer across field, and Com with a bump off the camera, and he manages to open up the space for Gimmick. Com goes hunting, Spider was confused, and it's Continuum who find themselves down a game.
So the bump happens, but Spider was in front of the ball the entire time. I'm not sure what happened, if he was misread something or just... I'm not sure. Didn't go for the ball.
That maybe leave it?
He might have gotten a call. There's no reason not to go for that ball, but regardless, cost the team. And Continuum give up a pretty weak goal, it feels like here, especially after having to field so many great shots from Version1. That's the one that loses them the game, but it goes back to a bigger picture here for Continuum, because they did spend the majority of time on defense here, where it felt like Version1 had a lot of space to work with. You're even seeing here in the highlight, Aeon and Spider both rotating back to the net, no one there to cut off passes. Look at all the space that Version1 have in this highlight package, especially between the top of the box and the midfield. They have eaten Continuum alive. That's really where Continuum's struggling here in this game.
And we did see a little bit of a change as well. I think that goal might open up Version1's eyes to something that can work if they are going to play this far back on Continuum. Hey, start going for some demos, because they have been stood completely still on the goal line so often. It's not going to be too hard to just blast the ball long and then go hunting for one of them. So we get ourselves into game number 2. Just what can Continuum do a bit different?
Oh, no.
That's hopefully not a sign of things to come.
That's a painful one to watch if you're Aeon. He's got 90 boost here, and that's a tough challenge. He had to react to it. It came off that side of the corner, excuse me, a bit hard, and it's tough to read. And I think that was more of a reflex jump and flip rather than a calculated one. Unfortunately, kills the ball, and now Gimmick off kickoff is going to put a second one away to add some insult to injury.
This is going to feel so much better for Version1. Struggled to score in the last game, and now they're scoring for fun in this one. 15 seconds gone, 2 goals up.
Disaster.
Yeah, this is falling apart for Continuum very quickly.
It's a disaster start. You know, you feel the pain of the last game. It was a weak goal. Now you're down by 2 in the first 20 seconds. Version1 still knocking on the door. And for Continuum, they're going to need some major changes here. It could be Spider, as he takes too heavy of a touch.
Block again by Com, who has had a lot of success when he's had just a chance for an individual play. Spider looks for an awkward angle. Com will not allow it. There's just nothing available right now for Continuum. Can't even cast our minds back to the goal that they did score. It wasn't from any sort of setup on their own part. It wasn't extended pressure. It was just What of those sort of goals?
Right.
And that's not something that really indicates, hey, this is a team that's looking in great shape for this series. As Spider looks to try and drop down. Didn't quite have the boost to try and react and put that one past Torment. Next shot will be put long as Com almost managed to score the own goal if he did make contact.
But this is good pressure for Continuum. They're going to give it up here, but this was a great offensive drive for them, and really probably one of the better ones that they've had in the entire series, even in the last game. And here comes some more pressure. Torment got bumped. Gimmick's got to make the save off the post. Astro's shot turned away by Torment as Continuum starting to heat up here on offense.
And Spider was after the demo on the goal line. Couldn't quite find it. It was there. Then that was going to be at least 2-1. Instead, with just over 3 minutes remaining, they are still 2 goals down. That's not the touch that Aeon wanted. Com clearly did not have the infield passing option. Instead, Torment coming in late. Will the Version 1 need any of these goals just yet? That's it. Will be put over the top. Torment has a bit of time. He's going to try and take up the wall, force the challenge, and allow the team to reset off the demo. So far, Version 1 playing the clock fantastically as here comes Torment yet again. Look for another air dribble. Torment just lethal in the air right now.
And Continuum still giving him the space to do it. That one was a little bit more in traffic, but for the most part, Version 1 have still had that space. It's just that Continuum have spent a little bit more time on offense here in this game, and that's a good sign for them, but they're still down by 2 goals, as you said, Shogun. There hasn't been a lot of pressure on Version 1 to really have to extend that lead any further.
And again, the transition out is all too easy for Version 1. Just using the flanks every single time they throw Gimmick, they throw Com down there. It's an easy enough pass each and every time they want it. Again, it's just a lack of confidence when it comes to the clears. Finally going to boom one downfield. Let's see where they can go with this as Aeon wants to try and force some sort of challenge, but the lack of it means that Continuum fully back in their own side of the field yet again. Nothing really gained for them, although that touch from Spider might give them something to work with here. So managed to get a second one. Demo's the third. And it all unravels all too quickly. Version 1, even despite that, weren't even phased.
And pay attention to the Version 1 offense. Hold on a second.
I think they might need to pay attention to Torment, who was very obviously telling them, hey, I'm coming in. No? No one? All right, fine.
Nobody challenges there. Astro had 50 boost to work with. Still Continuum struggling to get to the ball quickly when it's a dangerous one coming across the box yet again. Either miscommunication or just uncomfortable going for the ball. Continuum not having anybody in front of it, and Version 1 taking advantage. But the point I was about to make before Torment came barreling through was pay attention to the Version 1 clears. See the difference between them, theirs, and Continuum's. They're high and above the line of Continuum, and that's what's letting Version 1 break out so easily. Most of their clears are getting over at least 2 men on the Continuum side, and it's letting Version 1 have more and more pressure downfield.
Oh, there's another huge demo, 4-0. Version 1 making a statement here in this game. Torment has himself a brace. And so far for Continuum, this has been a nightmare. Really has been nowhere for them to go.
Yeah.
And more to your point, Corelli, keeping an eye on the Continuum clears, it just feels like they don't quite know where to put it. Every single one of them so panicked. When they do finally get a chance to clear, it's directly at someone from Version 1, meaning they can just take control of it and be right back on their way towards the offensive line.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. In Version 1, you can see, I suppose, the experience from players like Torment and Gimmick who have taken advantage of the space. Here's Gimmick again. Oh my goodness. Almost gave it to the last man. As Aeon and Spider try to combine to break down field. Continuum are going to have to do some work here, Shogun, moving into their possible final game. As Version 1, while it's funny because I think Continuum showed a lot more offense here in this game, yet it's almost a worse of a game from Continuum at the end of the day.
Yeah, this is very difficult to try and coach your way around as well, because there's just so much going wrong. You don't really know where to start for it. But for Version 1, you don't change a thing. This is perfect right now. Your opponents aren't playing to their best level. There's clearly communication issues for them. Just keep going, you know. For Version 1, they've not had the best first split. Looking to make the second one just that little bit better for themselves. This would be a great way to do so.
Yeah, and I think, obviously there's questions about the pickup of Calm. I mean, just like with any roster, but that last goal, I think, exemplifies what a player like Calm is brought on to version 1 to do, and that's to create that chaos inside the box, set up his teammates for success, or actually score the individual effort. And you could see Calm doing that multiple times, just being a nuisance, whether it's the demos, whether it's finding the back wall, the individual play, even on defense. You talked about the patience from him. I mean, he really does bring a great center to this version 1 team that I think that they did need, and they're finding it right now here with Calm against Continuum.
Yeah, when I look at version 1 right now, it does look like a team that just got started, but the fundamentals are there. There's nothing crazy that they're trying to do. Just making sure they take it one step at a time, make sure they don't make any really crazy mistakes. That's all they've required so far. Obviously, you're going to have to build out from that as the split goes along. This has been good enough. Astro downfield, can't quite make contact. That might actually throw off the rotation enough, though. Torment, another quick transition. Everyone involved right now is just an awkward bounce that prevents another player from version 1 able to move on in. There's one thing I am very curious about, Corelli, and it's something that we have unfortunately not been able to see enough here, as Calm looks to find his highlight reel. And there is him announcing his spot on version 1.
And look how much time and space he has. This is an extremely slow flip reset. Yet but Spider from the back post is the first man to get to that ball on the Continuum side. Calm had all day and night to get that flip reset and put it in. And no one from Continuum there to challenge.
Gimmick not going to have a chance at that one, unless he plans on stacking about 3 or 4 mercs on top of each other, and even then might still have to reach. This has just been truly horrid. 6 goals unanswered now. Actually, it would be 7, if I correct myself. Version 1, all over this first series of the regional. I'm sure there are plenty of fans out there, people that have stuck with Torment and Gimmick for the longest time, ever since they were the Muffin Men. This will feel pretty good for them, pretty satisfying to have stuck with them and see this sort of result, but I want to see more as we move forward. In comes Calm. 2 players required, but they will get the clear. But where's the follow-up? Gimmick has got plenty of time. And you know where Gimmick's going to go, and he's got plenty of time and plenty of boost. Of course, we're going to the air.
Every time.
Passing option.
It doesn't matter where he is.
Spin Gimmick.
Yeah, he's back.
Spin Gimmick earlier.
I was about to point that out as well. He started to get behind the ball and going for the air dribble, going for the flip resets. He's gone for a musty as well. He doesn't care where he is on the field. It could be his own corner. He'll take it himself.
Gimmick has got like the emergency button, but is only allowed to press it when his team is very much in control of the series. Can just shatter the glass, hit the button. In no emergency, unlock air roll.
And here's the thing, he's good enough to do it too. I mean, we're not criticizing him because he is doing it. He is absolutely phenomenal at doing it. It's just funny because throughout this game so far, it's been a very controlled effort from version 1, a very conservative effort even. I wouldn't even say that they've really overextended much. There's been the odd double commit, the odd miscommunication, but that happens in every game. It's been a very clean and I would say teamwork-oriented game from version 1.
I would call this one like just the coach's delight. You just look at and just go, this is what I want from you guys just to start with. We'll figure out team identity later, but you've not double committed, you've not done anything silly.
Right.
It's fantastic.
Your new player's performing. I mean, everything's going right. Fireburner, I think, is happy to see it.
Over off the backboard. Still 1 goal is the difference. Continuum having a better showing so far here in Game 3, but Calm gets Spider, who will just about avoid the hit. Oh, double commit yet again, but what will be the punish for it? Instead, it is easily recoverable for V1. Looks to drop down. Who's going to be there? Nobody quite. Don't need to be. They're the one with the lead. They don't need to overextend. Aeon can't quite continue here as Calm will avoid the demo attempt. So a couple of new things being tested out here for Continuum. None of it working so far as Gimmick is the first one to the ball. He decides to leave the boost, instead tries to go for the setup. And in 20.
And here's the good news for Continuum, is they're not down by 2 goals right off the bat. They don't have that big of a hole to dig themselves out of. But they do need to find that opportunity, and they have 7 shots here in that game. They're out shooting, or in this game, excuse me. They're out shooting Version1 at the moment. Great fake by Astro, but his touch is a bit too heavy. Cuts it back, almost gets by Gimmick. Spider shot staved away by Gimmick again, coming off the back wall. And Version1 tested on the goal line, yet the crack.
Yeah, Continuum cannot afford to let this go either because there are low boosts all over the place, and Com will outplay them and get the team out. Reboosted now for V1. Huge opportunity now gone for Continuum. They won't find a better one than that for however long is left in this game, as Astro can't quite find the challenge he was after either. 30 seconds. And Continuum, who have not scored in over 10 minutes, need one right here, right now. In comes Spider. Decides to leave it the first time around. He hasn't got the time and the luxury to do that anymore. They've got to get something here. Aeon will just follow the ball around. Over to the wall. Torment decides to follow. Torment is also the quicker of the two. 10 seconds. I want to go. Once again, going to get the clear. Spider, I think he wants the backboard. He saw both Gimmick and Torment, who are both ready for it. Infield pass. It's over Spider, and Com pre-jumps the save. Up comes Aeon. Crossbar down. And that very much illustrates how this series went for Continuum. Version1 will move on through to the next round, having conceded only 1 goal.
Wow. And I think that's the best game we saw from Continuum. Some great opportunity there for them, especially at the end, of course, but throughout that game as well. But Version1, we can't sing their praises enough here. I think the expectation was they were going to come out and win this series. That they did, and I would say in convincing fashion as well.
We all expected. The Chiefs, what were you doing, mate?
I don't know. What a horrible... You know what?
Horrible prediction of Chiefs.
Well, I guess he is doing a Gibbs impression then, so that's... But Version1, definitely the better team here in this series.
Right then, so V1 get themselves off to the perfect start to this winter split, but when we come back from break...